Hi everybody, welcome to my new channel 10 Minutes to Learn, and today we're gonna speak about something really interesting, that is the drugs' impact on our bodies. Enjoy! Firstly, we have to know that drugs exist since the Middle Age, and if we have to give a definition, a drug is a psychoactive substance that modifies mental activity, sensations, behavior, and causes somatic effects which vary according to the properties of each product you use. And with all these different effects, we can find many types of drugs. In one end, we have the legal drugs. You can find them, for example, in supermarkets, and for the majority, the consumption and sales are regulated. The legal drug includes alcohol, tobacco, energy drink, but also coffee and others. In the middle, we have therapeutic drugs, which can be used by doctors to treat disorders like brain activity, like anxiety, depression, sleeping problem. And these drugs includes antipsychotics, anxiolytics, sleeping pills, and etc. These drugs can also be used by drugs addicts for themselves. On the other hand, we have the illegal drugs, which are prohibited from production, sale, use and possession because of their toxicity and dependency on the body. In this category, we have two subcategories. The first is the soft drugs, where we can find cannabis, for example, which is less toxic and addictive. The other subcategories is the hard drugs, where we can find, for example, cocaine, ecstasy, which are highly addictive and toxic for the body and are very dangerous. We have to know that in France there are 200 drugs which are prohibited and are illicit. In this video we would like to understand why do people use drugs and what are the harmful effects. So we will first talk about the effect desired by the consumers, then about mental and physical disorders. In the desired effect, first we have the anxiolytic effect. We have a feeling of relaxation, reduce manifestation of anxiety, and they act on neurotransmitters in my head and on neuronal activity. It reduces neuronal activity. The second desired effect is a stimulant effect. It provokes euphoria, it increases heart rate, it increases breathing, and in terms of physiology, it provokes an increase of the activity of the neuropathic nervous system. Oh, I see pink elephant. As you see, the last desired effect I want to speak is the hallucinatory effect. We have two types. The first is the psychosensory. It can affect sight, smell, hearing, taste and touch. And the other is the psychics. It will touch the ideas, the feelings and the representation of something in your mind. Physiologically, the hallucination effect is characterized by sensation enhancement, by ecstasy, by reality distortion, and all these things are the consequence of change in the activity of serotonin receptor in the brain. But actually, all the scientists don't know how it works really, and there are many research on them, on this mechanism, and we wait for that. Now I want to speak about the physical and mental disorders. So, in the physical disorders, we have three levels. The first is a disabling level, which can lead to dizziness, malaise, nausea, vomiting, insomnia, and things like that, which is the first thing occur when you take drugs. The second level is very disrupted and can change the visual perception, decrease alertness, loss of memory, and all the things like that. And the third level is dangerous to health and can lead to dehydration, hypothermia, increase or decreased heart rate, tetany attacks, and all these things can be dangerous for the health. In the mental disorders, we have also three levels. The first occur at short or medium term, and which involve anxiety, shocking, confusion, nervousness, panic, phobias, and things like that. The second level is during the descent, when you take something, you have a descent, and which characterize depressive states and withdrawal of the product. And the third level is will touch at more or less long term, and could lead to aggravation or revelation of mental illness, depression, and also lead to suicide. For the last part of the physical and mental disorders, I want to speak about addictology. So, what is addictology? Addictology enroll three words, three states. The first is the pleasure seeking. It's an increased motivation to use drugs. The second is the seeking relief, which is a negative emotional states when you don't have your drug. And the third is the loss of control over consumption. So it's a decrease in the ability to control yourself when you don't have your drug. Before the dependency, we have four scales. The first scale is the abstinence, when you take nothing, no drugs, nothing. The second scale is the simple use. So during a party, you take one time to taste, and that's all. The third scale is the noxious use. So if, for example, all the Saturday night you take drugs, is the noxious use. Your body start to assimilate the drugs. And the fourth stage is the dependency. And with the dependency, you start to take the drug all the day, always, and it start to be difficult. Physiologically, the mechanisms is really difficult to explain the addictology. So we have three main mechanisms which can explain the addictology in general. So we have the release of dopamine, the release of serotonin, and the activation of endorphin transmitters. So with the release of dopamine, we have an interference with the neurotransmitters, and we have a speed up of the message through the synapses. And with the release of serotonin, the message through the synapses is transmitted at all the nervous system. And these two mechanisms active the endorphin transmitters. We have to know that endorphins are involved in analgesia and feeling of well-being. And you have also to know that the regular drug use less the natural production of endorphins. So when you have less natural production of endorphins, you want to take another drugs to to increase this level of endorphin and find the well-being. To conclude, I want to say that in the student life we see a lot of drugs. We see alcohol, tobacco, we see a lot of drugs in party like poppers and other things like that. And I think the best thing to say at students is be prepared for all type of drugs you will take and be reasonable, because problems occur when a drug is taken without being anticipated and their intensity may be surprising. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.